Imagine ancient Egypt over 5,000 years ago, not yet the unified land of towering pyramids, golden treasures and powerful pharaohs we know today, but two distinct kingdoms locked in rivalry. In the south, the narrow Nile Valley formed the heart of Upper Egypt, with its white crown and culture centered around a falcon-headed god. To the north, the sprawling delta of the Nile cradled Lower Egypt, with its red crown and devotion to the cobra-headed goddess Wadjet. These two regions were as different as night and day, each with its own traditions, rulers and ambitions. For generations they existed side by side, often clashing for control of the fertile lands and vital trade routes along the life-giving river. Then came a man who would change the course of history forever. Narmer, the first pharaoh, the unifier of ancient Egypt. Narmer, sometimes referred to as Menes, is a figure who stands at the crossroads of history and legend. His name appears on ancient artifacts that tell the story of a monumental achievement, the unification of Upper and Lower Egypt into a single, powerful kingdom around 3100 BCE. This act marked the beginning of the dynastic period in Egypt, the era of pharaohs who ruled as god-kings and built one of the most iconic civilizations in human history. But how did Narmer accomplish such a feat, and why is his story still so captivating today? The story of Narmer begins with the Narmer Palette, one of the most important archaeological discoveries in Egypt's history. This beautifully carved stone tablet was unearthed in the late 19th century at Hierakonpolis, one of the ancient capitals of Upper Egypt. The palette is a masterpiece of symbolic art, depicting Narmer's triumph over his enemies and his unification of the two lands. On one side, he is shown wearing the white crown of Upper Egypt, standing tall and powerful as he strikes down a foe. On the other side, he wears the red crown of Lower Egypt, symbolizing his authority over the northern kingdom. These two images, combined with intricate depictions of victory celebrations and subdued enemies, make it clear that Narmer was not just a conqueror, but a visionary leader who understood the importance of symbolism and propaganda. But the unification of Egypt wasn't merely about military conquest. Narmer's achievement required more than battlefield victories. It demanded a deep understanding of the people and cultures he sought to rule. To unite Upper and Lower Egypt, he needed to bridge their differences and create a shared identity. One of his first acts as ruler was the establishment of Memphis as the capital of the unified kingdom. Strategically located at the border of the two lands, Memphis became a powerful symbol of unity. It served as a cultural and administrative center where the traditions of Upper and Lower Egypt could merge, laying the groundwork for a unified Egyptian civilization. Narmer's unification also involved the careful integration of religious and political symbols. He adopted the combined crown of Upper and Lower Egypt, known as the Shent, as a visual representation of his authority over both regions. This iconic double crown would become a symbol of pharaonic power for millennia. He also ensured that the gods of both lands were honored, incorporating elements of their worship into the state religion. By doing so, Narmer not only legitimized his rule, but also fostered a sense of shared identity among his subjects. Despite his achievements, much about Narmer remains shrouded in mystery. Was he truly the first pharaoh, or was he simply the last in a line of rulers who had been working toward unification for generations? Some historians argue that Menes, another legendary figure often credited with uniting Egypt, was actually the same person as Narmer. Others believe Menes was Narmer's successor who solidified the unification and expanded its reach. The lack of written records from this early period leaves us with more questions than answers, but the Narmer Palette and other archaeological evidence provide tantalizing glimpses into this transformative era. Narmer's reign marked the beginning of Egypt's first dynasty, a period of remarkable innovation and growth. The establishment of centralized rule allowed for the development of hieroglyphic writing, the creation of monumental architecture, and the organization of complex administrative systems. These advancements laid the foundation for the grandeur of the Old Kingdom, the era of pyramid building that would follow in the centuries to come. Narmer's vision of a united Egypt set the stage for a civilization that would endure for over 3,000 years, influencing cultures far beyond its borders. But what drove Narmer to pursue unification in the first place? Was it ambition, a desire for power, or a sense of destiny? Perhaps it was all three. As a ruler of Upper Egypt, he would have been keenly aware of the wealth and resources of the delta to the north. Uniting the two regions would not only increase his own power, but also create a kingdom capable of dominating trade and agriculture along the Nile. The river, often called the lifeblood of Egypt, was the key to prosperity. By controlling its entire length, Narmer ensured that his kingdom would thrive. Narmer's story also raises questions about leadership and legacy. He wasn't just a conqueror, he was a statesman, a strategist, and a visionary. His ability to see beyond the immediate gains of victory and work toward the creation of a unified kingdom speaks to his extraordinary leadership. And while his name may not be as well known as later pharaohs like Ramses the Great or Tutankhamun, his impact on Egyptian history is arguably even greater. Today, Narmer's legacy can be seen in the symbols and traditions that defined ancient Egypt. The double crown, the concept of divine kingship, and the very idea of a unified Egypt all trace their origins back to him. His story is a testament to the power of vision and determination, showing how one leader's ambition can change the course of history.